Hey everyone, this is FabryLON. Welcome back. I am finally back with a new video, and actually tonight I need to record two different videos. This first one, it's actually a video response, something that I always really enjoy to do here on YouTube. Just need the occasion and the time. And this specific video response is to femtrooper. Whom I always enjoy her video whenever I have the chance to watch them. Again, the lack of time and everything is always in the way. And her last video on most disappointing games, I found that very interesting, very entertaining for the most part, because I have to say, to see games such as Trails of Cold Steel or Radiant Historia on a list about disappointing games, it was painful. I felt it right here, the stabbing. I was like, oh, the pain. But hey, we all have our own tastes, so that's fine, kinda. So, but listen to that list. I really wanted to make a video response about that specific topic because, as you know, or not know, I don't know, I've been gaming for my whole life, or at least for as far as I can remember. And naturally, I've stumbled upon disappointments here and there. So I went through my memory, my not-so-good memory, and managed to, following Paige's example, find 7 games that proved to be disappointments to me. I went from more recent ones up until some older ones. So I think there is an interesting list here. And we are going to start with the most recent, I have to say. Play this late... what am I going to say? I played this like last year, late last year. And this is a weird one because, let me just put a warning side. I mean, with me, not disappointment doesn't necessarily mean a bad game. Maybe I enjoyed the game, but for certain aspects they were disappointing and preventing me to fully enjoy the games. So let's start with maybe the most controversial one, I think, especially considering my personal tastes, and that is Ys 8 on the Vita. Wait, what? An Ys game? I know, and this is where it gets even weirder, because in the grand scheme of things, I liked Ys 8, but at the same time, as I said in my game discussion, why I liked it, I didn't love it, if it makes sense. And I think it does, because Ys is one of my favorite series ever. I absolutely love Ys. And but with Ys 8, I had the feeling that something was missing. And what disappointed me at the end of the day was the story, because I didn't find it engaging. That's the problem, to me at least, with this game, because with all recent Ys game, I really enjoyed my time from Ys 7. Celceta, I loved Celceta. I replayed recently Ys Origin on the Vita. I friggin' loved that game. But then playing Ys 8, I was enjoying myself, but as I said, at the same time, there was something missing, and that was an engaging story. Because Ys 8, it's the biggest of the series. It's a 40 hours plus game, and I say that at least 30 of them were not interesting. Or at least I was not. It's not that I wasn't having fun, but at the same time, I wasn't really. How can I say this? I mean, again, I was enjoying those 30 hours, but at the same time, I was thinking, like, can something happen, please? Something exciting, something worth of my time? And that's a sad thing to say. And also, one thing that I've noticed with Ys 8, I found it very, very similar to Celceta. It's like basic mechanics. Of course, the story is different. But Celceta's story, on the other hand, I loved that. I really liked it. This was basically the same, fully 3D, and with this story that was not going anywhere until you find Dana, and everything related to Dana, it's worthwhile in this game. It's the best part of the game. And then, I say, from like the 30 hours mark, the game started to get interesting until the epic ending. But on the grand scheme of things, as I said, the overall feeling, I wasn't particularly impressed. I mean, I liked it. I enjoy my time. I mean, the combat system, it's fun, while not being my personal favorite. I prefer, for example, the combat system in Origin or Oath in Falagana, and I have a soft spot for the run and bump in the old games, but it's still enjoyable and fun. The music, it's amazing, but the story was really not grabbing me. I was really dragging at one point. It's not that I was about to drop the game, but there were entire days that I didn't play it because I didn't have a strong motivation. So that's why, in the grand scheme of things, I was kind of disappointed by Ys 8. Even though it's still a great game and I highly recommend it, I always love the sense of adventure and exploration offered by these games, and it's fun, but at the same time, the story didn't find it that memorable. So a weird one to start, and let's move to the second disappointment, still on the Vita, because I absolutely love this system. It's one of my personal favorites, and I try to get as many games as I can, and when I buy games I always try to get games that I like. So when I find a disappointment, it's even more frustrating. And the second game is this is, as you can see, the Jak and Daxter trilogy, and I'm specifically want to talk about Jak and Daxter 2. And I really liked the first Jak and Daxter that I played through the Vita, even though sometimes it was very frustrating, I have to say, especially certain platforming elements you have to do were insane. I died so many times playing that game, but I was able to beat it, and I really enjoyed it. But all of a sudden, of course, I said, let's play the second one. And I really didn't understand what was going on with the game, because the vibe from it was very different. Again, it's not bad, but all of a sudden, it seems that I was playing basically Grand Theft Auto, the Jak and Daxter edition. And I was going around this city, stealing sort of cars and bikes, shooting guns. It's like, what happened? I thought this was a Jak and Daxter game, not Grand Theft Auto. And some certain sections were very, very annoying. I mean, I remember a sort of skateboarding stage that drove me crazy, even though I managed to pass that. But yeah, I dropped this game. I think I can not really restart it, but I can go back to it. But I'm not very motivated because the second game didn't impress me. I mean, I liked the first one, but the second one was so out of character, I have to say, that kind of took the wind out of the sails, if you know what I mean. I don't have much motivation of going back to the... Even though I would like to finish the trilogy and play the PSP game. But, yeah, adding guns and cars and stuff really... it weirded me out. Final game on the Vita, and this was really frustrating because I was highly anticipating this game. I couldn't wait to play it because I was thinking this is going to be amazing, and not really. I mean, the game is, let's talk about the game. You see what I mean. And the game is Grand Kingdom on the Vita. I think this is also available on PS4, but boy, I was really expecting greatness from this. I would say this is going to be the next big strategy RPG on the Vita, because I love that subgenre. And as I said, I was really anticipating Grand Kingdom, because the main reason why it's amazing graphical style, the art style of the game. It's fantastic. But just moving closer. But the combat system and the weird sort of board system mechanics, it was really weird. I had the feeling that for some reason they were trying to reinvent the wheel with a strategy RPG. I was thinking, why not doing as a normal grid-based board like Fire Emblem, Jeanne d'Arc? You have amazing experiences there. Why not doing the same with this game with its fantastic art style? I would have loved it. And again, the battles are not bad. It's just a weird combat system where you can only use small teams, and I really think it doesn't. This game doesn't reach its full potential. Maybe it's just me not getting that. You might think it's the best combat system in a strategy RPG ever. I doubt it. But I was really disappointed because I really fell in love with the graphical style of this, and recently I saw some pictures like it looks so gorgeous. Why they couldn't put a normal gameplay? I understand it. I mean, why not going for something a bit different? But I think they really did something overly complex just for the sake of it. I was like, why? It's not necessary. I mean, as I said, just use a sort of Fire Emblem mechanics. That's perfection. It would be amazing, but I don't know. Eventually, I would like to come back to this because, as I said, it's not the combat is not necessarily bad, but it feels like why should I play this where there are much better strategy RPGs around? I mean, on the Vita itself, the PSP, the 3DS, the DS. I mean, I don't know. I was really bummed out with this, and as I said, I would like to go back to this. I really don't know when. I mean, this has been on my shelf for a while now, collecting dust. Always looking at it like someday I will play Grand Kingdom. It hasn't happened yet. We'll see. I was really disappointed by its weird gameplay, though. And as I said, this is maybe just personal, but I really didn't like it. In a grand scheme of things, I really like that today. But it's true. I mean, I love strategy RPGs, and the gameplay is an essential part of it. So I really didn't like it in Grand Kingdom. Next, we're moving to the DS, and again, this game it's not bad at all. Actually, it's solid, but the disappointment for me came when once I beat it, this game was a big that's it. And the game is Suikoden Tierkreis. The reason why that it was a big that's it, because I was expecting so much more from this game. Once I beat it, and by the way, that was my first game discussion video, very crappy if I might add so myself, but I was really once I still remember finding this in a game store, buying it. I was like, yes, I finally got a Suikoden game. I'm gonna play this, and it's going to be amazing. I mean, again, it's not bad. It's a decent RPG on the DS, and it's the last Suikoden game we had, so that's something. And again, it's not bad at all. But I was thinking that, is this all the mighty Suikoden has to offer? I mean, I'm not impressed. I mean, it's the story, especially the story. Again, it was really bland, I have to say. The characters were alright, and I really enjoy the typical aspect of a Suikoden game to have the 108 characters, I think. But I had the feeling that having so many characters, it was also a weakness for the game, because for the after a while, some characters really felt like copies of other characters, both in terms of like skills in particular. That was a big problem. You have basically 20 characters with the same skills. That's not a lot of fun. I understand that it's difficult to have so many skills for so many characters, but that's the point of the game, to have all these characters. And also because I remember I recruited almost all of them, like 105 out of 108. Honestly, I don't remember the music from this, but I say kind of the strength and weakness were the characters, because some of them were actually interesting characters and well developed. I still remember that my favorite was Crodikild, I think was her name. She was a cool character, and also others. But as I said, after a while, others seemed really felt similar to each other. And as I said, the story was nothing special. So again, maybe it's my fault. I was expecting so much more, because I said it's a Suikoden game. It has to be good. And yes, that's the only one I played, so I'm sure this is not Suikoden 2. But again, I was expecting much more, especially the story was... as I said, it was a big, that's it. This is a Suikoden story. But who knows, maybe one day I'll be able to play the other 5 and Tactics, so the other 6 games, so maybe I'll enjoy them more. The next 3 games are from different consoles for which I cannot show you the games, because 2 of them are actually in Italy with the rest of my collection, and the last one I don't even own it. So the 5th game that was a disappointment, while again I didn't think it was bad, but it was nothing special, and that was Sudeki on the original Xbox. And the thing was that this is basically the only JRPG that I have on the Xbox, and especially the only one I was able to find for the Xbox, because due to the fact that I wanted to play Halo, that's the reason why I bought the Xbox at the time, and I think a lot of you did the same. After a while, I realized, where are the RPGs? Specifically the JRPGs, because during the previous generation, the PlayStation 1, I really became fanatical with those games. So I needed more, because I knew that on the PlayStation 2 there were loads of them. And I was not receiving anything on the Xbox. So I was starting to get annoyed with that, because there are great games on that, but I know I should have got the PlayStation 2. That was the feeling. And why did I get this? For Halo and other games, but all the games that I really wanted were elsewhere. So all of a sudden I found this thing, Sudeki, and say, oh, this looks like a JRPG. And also, like, reading magazines, they were talking about this JRPG for the Xbox. And it's really nothing special. I mean, it's a action RPG. It's quite short also, and not very good, I think. It's not bad either. I mean, I haven't played it in years, but I remember that it wasn't very interesting. Some characters were alright, others were not. The bad guy was obvious from the first moment. I mean, I guess this guy is going to be the villain, with it's all menacing and yeah, right. The voice acting was so-so. And yeah, it was a big, bland game. The interesting thing, it was developed by Western studios, and I'm always fascinated by Western-developed JRPGs, even though they're not very common. But that was interesting, and as I said, it's not a bad game, but considering that this is the only JRPG that I own for the Xbox, it was a big bleh, because I mean, that was my favorite genre, and I was not getting any, so I was basically playing the PlayStation 1 instead of the Xbox, after I beat Halo, Panzer Dragoon, and Knights of the Old Republic. I was just keep playing the PlayStation 1 games. So, yeah, that's not a good sign, and which is weird because like the original Xbox had access to the Japanese market and to Japanese games, but JRPGs are quite rare on that. Number 6, we're going to a childhood memory here. I mean, we're moving back to the NES, and this was a huge disappointment. I mean, it crushed the hopes of a child. We're talking about something like this. The game is Robo Warrior. I already mentioned this game a couple of times here and there, but it was a traumatic experience for me because this is the game that mainly made me aware that there are bad games in the world. From my innocent point of view of a children, I was in the game store and I saw this thing on a wall with all the other games. And of course, like everybody else, we all did back then, I was interested and intrigued by the cover. I never heard of this game, didn't know what it was, I didn't read magazines, and saw this thing like Robo Warrior with a sort of Terminator guy with a big gun. And into my mind, I thought, well, it's probably going to be something like Contra or Probotector if you're like from Europe like me. So it's going to be fun. Got the game, and after 5 minutes, I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this garbage? I was really, really disappointed because not only, I mean, I couldn't go anywhere. I still cannot go anywhere in that game today as an old man, but I never understood that game, and I in a perverse way I enjoy trying to like that game. Not to like, that's a big word, but try to play it, try to go in somewhere with Robo Warrior, and it has good music. I enjoyed it. I will never forget the opening cinematic with that music that started like that. I'll never forget that because the music is pretty cool, 8-bit awesomeness. But the gameplay, I mean, as I said, I was expecting a Contra-like game. I found a sort of weird Bomberman game. I was like, what is this thing? So I was very disappointed by Robo Warrior. I mean, it was a big blow. I mean, up until that moment, Nintendo could do no wrong to me. I mean, after playing the Mega Mans, Castlevania, Zelda, DuckTales, Mario, all great games, and all of a sudden this smelly, horrible turd. Robo Warrior. I will never get rid of it though, because I love hating that game. And I always tried once in a while just to play the game, and I love the fact that they tease you at the beginning. Like, if you wait enough on the title screen, they'll show you an epic battle with a huge dragon, and you really want to play. It's like, oh yeah, I want to reach the dragon, I want to slay the dragon with my robot. And after 2 seconds, you're already dead. You cannot go anywhere. You don't know where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do. Fuck Robo Warrior. Finally, the 7th game. We're going forward more recently to the PlayStation 3. And I really couldn't get into this, even though I heard so many good things. A lot of people praising the story. And I don't own this. I played this together with my best friend who actually owned the game. And I couldn't believe how much I was not enjoying myself. And that is Heavy Rain. I heard like this game has a fantastic story, the whole thing with the Origami Killer. I think it's that one. And but I was really struggling with those stupid controllers. I really couldn't do it. And after an hour, I was like, okay, that's it. Let's play something else. I cannot do this. This is horrible. What is this fucking nonsense? I know. I just need to get used to the controllers. And probably the story, it's interesting. But that was a really, really unexpected, harsh way to start a game. I mean, those controllers were like retard. I mean, I couldn't do anything. I remember my friend was just laughing constantly and saying, where are you going? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? All like that, because I can keep going wrong direction because I don't want to go there. But those stupid controllers really really broke the game. Eventually, I'll try it again because I'm sure I just need to get used to it. But I was just thinking about it. It makes me angry because I was getting really frustrated. I was like, "Fuck this game," and I don't usually do it. But so that's it. This is my video response to femtrooper. Be sure to check her original video. I'll put it down in the description. But definitely do continue the train, do video responses. What are disappointing games for you throughout your experience? I'll be very curious to know. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Take care.